Hello, welcome to a brand new episode of This Is My Offer. It's an AWS webinar series that gives partners a chance to talk about what they offer their customers. I am Vishwa Kurakundi. I am a partner solutions architect at AWS based out of Denver. Today, we will be talking with Garrett Rowe, founder and CTO of NeuralSeek, to learn more about NeuralSeek and their generative AI offering on AWS Marketplace. Welcome, Garrett, and thanks for your partnership with AWS.
Excellent. Thanks for having me here today. It's great to be here talking with you and about the solution.
Great. All right. So NeuralSeek is a trusted GenAI competency partner working closely with AWS for years now. Garrett, would you tell me what NeuralSeek does and how you support the cross-industry adoption of generative AI?
Absolutely. So NeuralSeek at its core is a no-code orchestration engine for agentic AI, right? So we take lots of different use cases across language models and now in the more agentic focus and make it easy for business to be able to handle themselves, right? And that's an important differentiation that we have in the marketplace of our focus is really on making this stuff easy and taking it to the next higher level, allowing business to iterate themselves while providing the governance and guardrails that they require to actually take these use cases live.
Great. So let's talk a little bit about NeuralSeek's value proposition. So can you describe how your offering is using AWS services to impact cross-industry adoption of GenAI on AWS and how it's making your customers easy to build GenAI solutions?
Yeah, definitely. So everything that we build is both containerized running inside of AWS and consuming AWS services, right? So generally when a customer onboards NeuralSeek, it's going to really help the adoption of a lot of different AWS services, right? So Bedrock and Kendra and databases, because we have out-of-the-box connectors for all of these. So basically, with it, traditional Gen AI workload, you'd have a lot of people coding Python and connectors. We eliminate the need for doing that, right? And we have just out-of-the-box connections for all of these different AWS services so that, again, a business user can stitch together workable solutions with governance and guardrails in really minutes to hours. And so the big value proposition here is the time to value. We see everyone from consulting firms, right, using us to speed their implementations and lower their risk through lines of business up in large banks, energy and utilities, state and local, higher education, all using us to really drive more value in a short amount of time. Everything around Gen AI now is not replacing people. It's how can I lower the workload for the folks that I have and improve the product that I'm giving to my customers, right? And that could be end customers, it could be students, it could be internal employees. But how can I enhance their experience without spending more time?
Well, yeah, this is awesome. Especially when it comes to time takes for customers to build solutions and take it to market. I think NeuralSeek's platform can really fit in to reduce that time to go to market. If you can you share a demo of NeuralSeek platform? I think our customers would really love to see, what are its capabilities.
Absolutely, I'd love to. And so, I'm going to start this demo really by showing the problem with Gen AI, right? So anyone can go out and, and drop a language model behind something and then allow it to go out and do things. The problem comes for business and, strict use cases. One of the biggest challenges when it comes to adopting Gen AI is controlling truth. Now, in a business setting, controlling truth is very nuanced. So take, for example, this question that I asked up into NeuralSeek. What are the key features of DataStage, which is a product 16 fixed pack 1? The problem with this question is that this product doesn't exist. That version of the product is not real. The fixed pack is definitely not real. But language models in general always want to try to answer, and it's really, really hard to control them. Now you can see in this case, the language model here tried to caveat around it by saying it didn't specifically mention that. But again, it tried to give me an answer. And in a business context, a lot of times you want a lot more control around this. So one of the key things that NeuralSeek brings to the table to help control these business answers is what we call answer provenance and semantic scoring. So you can see when I turn on the provenance view, there's a whole bunch of highlighting that comes up. The highlighting directly relates to trusted source documentation that I found that was verbatim. And we have a proprietary semantic scoring engine behind the scenes that'll let me control answers based on a semantic analysis. And you can read that here. And the key piece is that we said, hey, the answer did not have the term 16 FP1, which is really the critical piece here. Like the data stage product was real, but there is no version 16, there's no FP1. And because of that, we hit what's called the minimum confidence guardrail. And what that did was it blocked the answer, right? And we could have blocked the answer. We could have routed that to a downstream agent. We could have sent it to a queue. We could do anything we want with this answer at that point because we flagged it and we've controlled it. And that's really where the governance comes in. And going live with GenAI requires governance, and it's the only way to really enable taking it any use case from pilot to get the trust of the employees in the organizations and allow these things to go live. And our governance begins here. And at an executive level, I can see how answers are being formed, the overall confidence resolutions. We do things like prompt injection blocking, hate, abuse, and profanity, PII monitoring, blocking, masking, removal. All of the things that are really a baseline for being able to go live with a GenAI solution. These are all out of the box, easily configurable inside of NeuralSeek. Right, so if I go and I look at the configuration for this specific set, I've got 4 different agents that are running in a multi-agentic flow, all in parallel, all in synergy. Each one can have separate governance and guardrails so that for my semantic scoring model, I can be blocking those bad answers, be monitoring prompt injections. NeuralSeek has a whole bunch of customers that are in higher education, folks that would be really any time that you have a solution that is out there to the general public, you must have prompt injection blocking out there because nowadays, there are the folks that are going to try to push your system, get that silly answer, post it to social media, and really ruin your brand by the bad publicity that they'll get from it. Out of the box PII detection across all major pieces, plus the ability to make your own. This is critical for all of our banking customers. They can't go live without it. Same for profanity and hate abuse. For those, and there's a lot of configurability to this, right? We've got a major urology clinic in the Southwest, and we have a middle school in the Washington, D.C. area. What's okay for the urology clinic is definitely not okay for the middle school, right? And we have the ability to really control that down. I talked about minimum confidence. So, here's a setting for that. I can do anything that I want once we've determined that. And that semantic scoring model is really the key for being able to do it. Now, when it comes to human in the loop, all of these pieces flow through so that a subject matter expert can tell very quickly what's going wrong and then be able to actually edit an answer. So if I want to come in and modify an answer, it's really easy to do so. And once I do that, this edited answer will then train all future language generations down to the bedrock LLM that you select so that I can train for style and content. Because a lot of times in big business, the ability to update documentation is, not easy, right? It may take months for the teams to get the updates through and get them in. but the subject matter experts need to solve the problem right now. And they can do that through the live editing screen, impacting all of those things immediately. Now, for agentic flows, we come out of the box with the ability to, we have a whole marketplace around agentic. So when I come into the agentic side of NeuralSeek, I can actually just describe a use case. Like I typed in here, grab the latest news from MSNBC and Fox, summarize the articles, compare political tones, and then recommend 3 articles for me. I can go ahead and just automatically generate an agent. And this is all no code. This is our no code builder. It's got hundreds of individual nodes that you can drag and drop and assemble to then create the agentic workflow you want. And now you can see that the system automatically created a 4-way parallel agentic flow along with 2 website scrapes. So when I go out and I've got my Bedrock LLM that's going to run here, I can just click the run button and I can get both live debugging of what's going on as this flow is running and being created. I can see what's going out to those website scrapes. I can see what's coming back from those. I can see what's going out to the language models. And all of these pieces will come back live. So I can get the confidence of what I'm building, and it happens really, really fast. Just imagine coding this sort of thing up in Python, the speed that would it take. And then here's the answer. Here's what popped back. I can get this in any format that I want. I can export it to Word or PDF or kick it to a downstream process. All of these things are just so easy in the system. Like I mentioned, we've got a whole out-of-the-box marketplace. We have hundreds of pre-built agents that run through that you can build from. And we have thousands more coming because the marketplace is out in the community. So we have both our trusted partners that are building and selling through the marketplace, plus we have open adoption. Right? So we've got just folks in the community that are contributing back up into this marketplace. So this is growing on a daily basis. All of these things allow you to quickly build inside of the platform and then get a lot of insight back through. Right. So as I'm running these and understanding, well, how are answers being formed? Where are answers being pulled from? Right. So across different questions and products and categories, what am I actually using to solve these problems, and where is that information coming from? We had one go live with a large banking customer in Europe, and they, right before go live, we typically have a roundtable with their stakeholders, and on that stakeholder roundtable, one of the department heads came back and said, "Hey, I'm really not comfortable with what I'm seeing coming through the system." Because the system says, hey, we did 0 interest rate mortgages, which we clearly don't do. We're a bank, right? How would that even work? Well, we just drove directly into the Seek logs, found the question that came through, and hit the replay button. And when you do that, you can get back and say, hey, exactly what happened in this test? How did this answer, how is this answer formed? I can tell the exact point in time for all of the documentation of what came back and how it came through. And in that way, it gives the full confidence. And in the case of that bank, right, the thing that we found is they actually had a web page live on their website that said they did 0 interest rate loans. And, when we saw that and, came back, we pointed it to it live, and we were able to say, hey, this is the website. I can drive to it. I can browse to it. They said, oh, my God, we paused the call. They pulled that website down. So the ability to drive into those insights across the documentation, understanding where things are coming from, and then retaining control, those are what enable us to actually drive GenAI use cases into production. And it's where a lot of homegrown, out-of-the-box Python solutions fail, because there is not that transparency into where things come from. We do a lot around cost insights and token insights, understanding both how much the solution is going to cost, projecting that out into the future, as well as system performance. A lot of times we're the first ones to understand, well, hey, how is the overall system performing? Is it coming back in time? Do I have a problem with a language model? Do I have a problem with the database that I'm connecting to? Let me drive into here and figure out what happened with that. Okay, maybe my knowledge base here took, well, in this case, 42 seconds to come back. I need to go check on that thing. All of this governance really snaps together to give the whole picture that both the business and the IT needs to take these things live.
Awesome. I love it. I think it's a very comprehensive platform, whether it's providing low code, no code building blocks that your customers can use to build their solution, or whether it taking providing a lot of configuration options where they can take semantic match score, for example, and then decide what the next path needs to be, whether it's human in the loop or a customized answer, or collecting feedback and then fine tuning the large language model, providing choice of model to your customers through Bedrock. And also, I really liked the insights section as well as the overall observability. I think it's really important for customers to have that, and all of it is in one single unified platform that NeuralSeek, right? So, yeah, thanks for sharing this demo, Garrett. Do you mind also sharing what additional GenAI solutions you are delivering to your customers?
Yeah, definitely. So we've got a lot of use cases in production across customers worldwide. Some big clusters. So banking. In banking, we've got some large customers down in South America, the US, and Europe. And they do both internal and external. For some, we handle internal employee communications and questions. We do IT help desk for them. For some, we even do external customer-facing pieces. Higher education is another big area for us, both merging together questions from students and potential students. Some of those get interesting too because they want to both answer specifically about their own college and courses, but then they want to answer any question as well. So fusing together a multi-agent solution where I can answer, what's the atmosphere on Mars, plus what are the prerequisites for chemistry 101. Both of those require different knowledge bases, the ability to automatically route to those different agents. We do all of that with no code, and it's very easy to do so. So for them, it was a big game changer being able to have the control and the flexibility. We do a lot with consulting agencies, right? So basically reducing their time to deliver to their end customers across all use cases and reducing their risk in delivery. We're getting into energy and utilities. One of the things that we have out of the box is OCR capability. And built into the product is something we call dual OCR. We have a traditional Tesseract-based OCR behind the scenes, but then we leverage some Bedrock visual models so that we use the visual model plus the Tesseract. And we were able to do very interesting use cases around taking like land deeds from the 1800s that had weird fonts and handwriting and getting all of that back. The accuracy is very, very high. Then you get interesting things around financial reporting. All right, so the ability to take in both unreleased financial reports plus investor questions, and then using that to predict, based on historical questions, what the C-suite might get for new questions based on these unreleased financials. A lot around content generation, document review. All of these use cases are easily snapped together. We did a fun one with a global energy drink company around breakdancing, right? So the ability to go in and analyze frames of a video and predict both what's going on and how complicated that move is. All of these are powered by NeuralSeek, and they're all no code.
Thanks, Garrett, for sharing those wide range of examples where NeuralSeek is helping deliver GenAI solutions to your customers. Now, for viewers who are viewing this, can you and who are interested in NeuralSeek solutions, can you provide some information about how they can get started?
Of course, yeah. It's very easy to get started. Out on our website, we've got our AI agent marketplace, which makes it really easy for you to understand all of the different verticals that we're in and all of the different agents that we have pre-built. And again, all of these pre-built agents really came from partnerships that we had with our actual customers. So almost all of these are production-ish use cases that we've created in partnership. Now, getting started, of course, we're on the AWS Marketplace. You can try it for free. So just go out to the marketplace and click the try it for free button, and you'll get a free instance of NeuralSeek to play around with. And then from there, we have a whole series of learning labs that you can use to run on top of that free instance. It's just head out to labs.neuralseek.com. And again, that's linked from our main website as well. It'll take you through a whole series of enablements around NeuralSeek, from the 101 level all the way down through building multi-agentic flows. In addition, we have a community site out here as well, thriving with a whole bunch of users asking questions that are deep. Any questions that you have, we usually answer within minutes, and you can get a sense of what everyone else is doing inside the platform as well. So a lot of material out here to get started. It's really easy, and again, it's free.
Awesome. Garrett, I want to thank you for taking time to talk with us on this episode of This Is My Offer. It has been an absolute pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much, and look forward to chatting with you again.
For our viewers, thank you for joining, and stay tuned for our next episode of This Is My Offer.